गुड मॉर्निंग एंड वेलकम टू गना शॉट। गना शॉट में आप सबको स्वागत है। टुडे वी गोना डू दिस जॉइंट podcast with Chakra News along with Sandeep Punithan. At the outset, let me welcome Sandeep. Here he is.
Morning, sir. Yes,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thank you
And
very much. And
uh,
greetings to all of you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you may be. Welcome back to our joint collaboration with Gunner's Shot. I am Sandeep Punithan. I'm the editor of Chakra News. We are a YouTube podcast channel and we focus on defense and geopolitics. And we are at the end of a very, very exciting year, exciting in a lot of senses. And as the alleged Chinese saying says that it was an interesting year, 2025 for us. And, to make sense of that, what lies ahead, if 25 was so full of surprises, what will 26 hold for India? What are the country-specific challenges to us, and what should we watch out for? So I have, of course, General Shankar to talk about all of this. General Shankar, uh, what are the five big countries that we should watch out for? Who are the big challenges to us uh, in 2026? This is literally the last podcast of the year, a very, very interesting, exciting year for all of us who track defense, geopolitics. Um, what is it who are the countries that we should look out for in 26?
yeah, at the outset, thanks a lot, Sandeep. Like you said, this is the last podcast between you and I for this year from Chakra News. I must tell everyone that, in my opinion, Sandeep is one of the best defense editors in mainstream media. Chakra News is his private podcast channel, but I first came to know him as the defense editor of India Today, and I was mighty impressed by him. So, all of you who are watching, just latch on to his the Chakra News. Some of the podcasts which he's getting are simply fantastic. You get a very erudite, thoughtful, and intellectual view of matters concerning our security and defense when he does a podcast. And that's why I've said, okay, every Saturday morning, he and I will do this. You're going to have a different flavor from the normal YouTube, and it's going to be full of, uh, hopefully, intellectual thinking. Right. With this, let's jump into what Sandeep was saying. Uh, India has got to traverse a minefield in 2026, and that's what Sandeep today conceived. And that's what we're going to discuss. We had a terrific 2025, but what are the top 10 security challenges for India in 2026?
Right.
Country specific, it'll be Pakistan, China, USA, Bangladesh, and Turkey in that order of precedence. That's my view. We can discuss it. Non-country specific, we're going to have energy, climate change, and disaster management, illegal immigration, data and info threat, and internally JNK and Manipur. Right? These are the top 10 security challenges for India. Uh, you want to discuss something about the country specific thing, and then we will take.
Absolutely, Jan Shankar. Let's start from the bottom. The top two challengers are well known, but let's start at the bottom, which is the country on the horizon. Very interesting country that most of us never even imagined would be a strategic challenger to India. And most of us were booking our holidays, vacations to Turkey, and I think many of them have cancelled. Others who've actually been to Turkey, like myself, we are very embarrassed that we went there. Little knowing that they would actually be funding, arming, and supporting a neighbor, a hostile neighbor. But tell us about Turkey, Jan Shankar. Why do you think it's going to be a big challenger for us in 2026?
Yeah. Look, I've said Turkey is on the horizon. Earlier it was over the horizon, but today it's
Right.
come on the horizon and it's coming nearer. Three very specific reasons why I've said Turkey is your security threat. The first, of course, well known, Pakistan. It's been
Right.
supporting Pakistan now. It supported Pakistan in 71. It's historically supported Pakistan. And if you go into the whole thing, we thought that Turkey would have changed as it joined the NATO and all that. And we felt that Turkey at one point of time wanted to even join the European Union. So we felt that there was a change, but ever since Erdogan has come into the scene, Turkey has changed colors. It's interfering far too much in Middle East affairs. It wants to be one of the great Muslim nations. As part of that, it has lashed on to Pakistan. And definitely the Turkey Pakistan military equation has, and the trajectory has gone up. I mean, someday, one of these days, we can discuss Turkey and Pakistan as a subject separately. And you'll see that the military equation is huge. And Turkey is one country which can give Pakistan a lot of technology, proxy technology, whether it's through China or Russia or USA, NATO, because it has equipment of NATO standards, right?
Right, right.
So that filching, and the Turkish mind is pretty devious and they're pretty well up on technology, right? So that thing can come, and that's also shown itself in the way they've dominated the drone scene and certain missiles and certain navigation systems and all that, and that technology they will offer to Pakistan. In return, Pakistan, they might be, in the long run, Turkey might be somewhere over the horizon trying for nuclear capability. But that's a
Nuclear
different ball.
capability.
Look,
Right.
I'm looking at Turkey's vision. How it would. Turkey wants to be a great power, Ottoman center of Ottoman Empire, all that, regain the caliphate. So don't let's not underplay imagination of people and hopes of people and ambitions of people. And so I think Turkey, that's the first reason. The second reason, Turkey has appeared in Bangladesh on the other side. And
Right.
it has, I wouldn't say interfered, it has entered into Bangladesh. And as days go by, you'll see Turkey trying to bail out Bangladesh in many manners. Whether it's in employment, whether it's in technology, or whether it is the substitute for many things which Bangladesh can't get from others. So
Right.
Turkey there. And the third thing is IMEC.
Ah,
We are looking at IMEC. We are looking at the axis with the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Haifa, and on to Greek and Piraeus and back out. But Turkey is against IMEC. Turkey feels that no corridor can go through to Europe without Turkey. So Turkey is doing everything in its capability and capacity to hijack the IMEC. Right? It doesn't like the whole idea of IMEC because
because it bypasses Turkey, right?
yeah, it bypasses Turkey completely. And remember, Turkey historically was the bridge between the Occidental and the
That's right.
Oriental.
Yeah. Bridge between the East and the West.
Yes, I mean that the poetic way of saying it, or the was Occidental and the Oriental.
Right.
And
Right.
the Constantinople, Istanbul, the Ottoman Empire, all ruled the European part. It had a you know Asian part. So and the Oriental part. There you'll find Turkey emerging as a major competitor. It is involved in Middle East politics. It will do anything to undercut India there because it sees India as a major threat. So I think for these three reasons, Turkey is my on the horizon challenge, and we need to
Yes.
factor it in. Also, Turkey has a presence in Maldives. Remember that it's coming up in
Right.
Maldives. Also, it figures somewhere in Maldives, and wherever there is a Muslim population, you'll see Turkey propping up there. And this is
So this is
something.
the part of
Yeah,
that fight for the leadership of the Islamic world, right? I mean, between Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and of course Iran. So,
yeah,
I mean,
it's there. But the fact is that, well, it'll virtually turn into something against India also. So for India, it's a security challenge in 2026 and beyond.
right, right, absolutely. And I must quickly add, Jan Shankar, how naive we were about Turkey's intentions while they were arming, supporting Pakistan. and they had this anti-India policy in place, we were actually rushing into a defense relationship with them. That's the irony of it. We were allowing them to bid for tankers, and we were planning to buy equipment from them. And I mean, we were blindsided in a sense. And but it's good that they showed themselves for their
What they are.
intentions,
Yeah.
and now we can be wary of them in 2026. Moving on to the next country, which is number four, which is Bangladesh. Now, I mean, this is a country we thought we had a very peaceful 15 years, and we thought we could that could last forever. But now we are seeing that that nefarious game plan set into play. The Islamists are literally running the show over there. They have elections there in just 2 months, February. You think anything is going to come out of that? It's going to be less of a threat in 26 because you have a democratically elected government, and they say that Tariq Zia is going to be the prime minister. You see any, or will it be a bigger threat to us in 26 than it was in 25?
Look, let me put it. Bangladesh would, like I said, that's the word I qualified. It will be an irritating threat. Look,
Right,
Bangladesh poses no direct threat to us. It doesn't pose a security threat to us. It's all
right,
about illegal immigration and radicalism pouring over, and some amount of noise will come in. Will Bangladesh change in 2026? I don't think so. I think Bangladesh on in 2024, 5th August 2024, when the coup happened against Sheikh Hasina, has changed
right,
character completely.
right,
Whether Tariq Rahman comes up or Jamaat comes up or NCP comes up or in some combination who comes up, the pulls and pressures in Bangladesh and the way things are coming out of Bangladesh today is this country has changed its character completely, right? It has gone back to its origins.
right.
This is nothing new. I would say if you see in from 1971 to date, 53 years or 54 years, the 15 years under Sheikh Hasina was an exception.
Right.
So it's gone back to that time. Uh, Ever since Sheikh Mujib was assassinated, we're going back now to 81. No, when 75, 75, I think, yeah. Right,
75 to 81. That Zia's
75,
period.
75 was
Ziaur
to
Rahman.
80 was Yahoo. Ever since then, it has moved away from India, more towards China, and Islamization was on the rise. It just kept
Right.
going with each change of government out there. It's only when Khalida Zia, I mean, apna Sheikh Hasina came, things got
Yes.
reversed. Now I think they're gone back to form, right? I think you're going to see a period where there's going to be less of Bangla, more of Islam. That Bangla culture will go and more of Islam will come. How does
Right.
how does it threaten us? I mean, it gives a playground for USA, China, ISI, Pakistan, Turkey to act. These are the guys who are going to come and act out there. It's
Hmm.
still going to be a feeder in terms of population for people going to the Middle East, working and all that, right? That will be there because being a Muslim nation, and that those chaps will come up back, whether radicalized or irradicalized, whatever, will in Bangladesh. So to that extent, you'll have a lot of noise from Bangladesh. Even now, there's a lot of noise. What is actually happening? Nothing,
Right.
right?
Right.
And with the kind of overwhelming force superiority you have, and the border which you're doing, and the things which you're putting in place, and we just have to harden our stance against Bangladesh. One, and secondly,
Right.
you have to contend with the fact that the Bangladeshis have a mindset which has come out now that without Bangladesh, India will go to the down to its knees and its economy will collapse. There's some wrong notion in Bangladesh.
Right. Right.
Will this change in 2026? I don't think so. Because you can't change the mind of a man so easily, right?
Yes.
And a nation which was prosperous, say till 2 years back, and doing well, people were going up the value chain and all indicators, suddenly chooses itself to be put in the dumps for whatever reasons. They blamed Sheikh Hasina, ye, wo, all that for many things. Will things change ahead? I don't think so. Things will just repeat themselves. So I
Right.
think
But as you said, since we were talking about a minefield, and we were talking, and obviously these countries, if you can liken them to mines, then Bangladesh would be what? An anti personal mine, a smaller irritant, as you said.
it's a irritant, right? I think it is an anti-personal mind which is detectable, and you can avoid it.
Okay.
You can, right? It's going to be irritating. It's an irritating threat for us. It will
It's an
continue.
irritant, like an anti personal mine. Yes.
Yeah, and you know why? Because it inflames nations. It
Right.
inflames people. You
Right.
know, uh, we have a lot of excitable people in India. When you see Islamism on the horizon, people go up in flames here.
Yes.
And the thing is that there are Hindus there. They will be, see, those Hindus by choice have been in Bangladesh, not now, from centuries. And
Yes.
after Bangladesh came, they felt they were okay and they continued. And they're 8% of that population of about 200 million. It's not a small number. And they're dispersed. They can't come out. And so there will be problems in Bangladesh. Even now, those two Hindus who have been killed,
Yeah.
Biphuchandra Das and Mondal. Besides that, there are a lot of Muslims also have been killed, but they have not been highlighted. These two chaps have been highlighted to infuriate you, to
Right.
make India irritable. It's a game plan, right? So
Right.
Bangladesh will be a football field for others to come and play football, but they all want, they have, their goal is India.
Right, absolutely. That's a very interesting coinage. I mean, Bangladesh is a football field. While we look at it as a minefield, it's also a football field where
Football,
four of these players that we've just mentioned are actually playing football over there, and all of their kicks are directed at India. Very
India.
interesting, sir. But we
Yeah,
should move on to the next. Yes,
isn't that so? That's the way it is, right?
that's
Yeah,
yeah,
let's move
absolutely.
on. Yeah.
It's the way geopolitics is very cruel,
Yeah.
unforgiving, and we live in a Mahabharat world. Uh,
Yeah.
So we go to the country number three, which is our strategic partner, the United States of America, where we've done much over the last 2 decades to be very close to the United States. In fact, at one point, we were almost inseparable as strategic partners with our own disagreements. But I think in 2025, General Shankar, you can bear me out on this. Uh, a lot of that work that went into building the India US strategic partnership was being undone by just one man and his utterances, and not just his utterances, but his doings. I mean, imposing the very high 50, the world's highest tariffs on India. Just to quote Francis Fukuyama, who just yesterday he was talking about how because Prime Minister Modi would not endorse him for the Nobel Prize, he is just, set fire to that India US strategic partnership. He doesn't care. 2026, how will the United States be towards India? Will it be a bigger threat than it was in 2025? I mean, they're backing a country that is a fount of terrorism, and we struck because there was a terrorist attack emanating from Pakistan, the deep state, and Donald Trump chose to take sides in that one for very, personal reasons, for his own self glory. United States in 2026, what kind of a threat will it pose to us? And on the minefield scale, how big of a mine is that going to be?
Look, this is a hidden mine. It's going to be a very difficult mine. It's a non-detectable mine.
Right.
Okay, we be very clear. On one hand, the relationship with USA is something which you cannot wish away for two reasons. One,
Yes.
you're too invested into the India-US defense relationship is too invested in each other. Neither can
Right.
they get away, neither can you get away. Second, our diaspora is too invested in USA, and the America Incorporated will be too invested in India. The kind of investments which will come into India, they in USA also has got no choice. It's got no choice. So, if these two strong points are there, why is USA a threat? The first question you have to ask yourself that. Like you rightly said, if you see what happened in 2025, there's a
Right.
huge flip, right? It's only India which is paying 50% tariffs in the world to America. No
Yes.
other country. It is only India which has seen instability in Bangladesh, which is US sponsored. right? And in Pakistan, which is now it has become its pal. From
Yes.
what it was in say 24, when USA was not prepared to give anything to Pakistan, it's become a pal.
Oh,
Why?
$600 billion worth of upgrades for the F-16s, which will take
That's
them
now.
beyond
That's now.
2040.
I'm talking 24. Pakistan was in the dumps. 25,
Yes.
right? The thing has changed completely. But why? I mean, there has to be some logic. The IMEC was supposed to be the great thing between India, USA. I2, U2. You had Indo-Pacific. You had Quad. All those were great highlights between India. And all they've gone. They're all gone in the thing, in the
No
national.
mention of the Quad in the strategic this thing, the
That's
India
all gone. Yeah,
US.
yeah.
They've
And they say New Delhi is required in the Indo-Pacific. That's about all. What has
yes.
changed? What has changed? The thing we have. That's what we need to understand. What has changed is this: that India doesn't want to toe America's line.
Hmm.
India is not prepared to toe America's line as far as Russia is concerned or China is concerned. What America wants is an ally in the mold of Japan,
Yes.
Taiwan, and all, who can listen to what America says, and whatever diktat America gives, you follow. But India is seeking strategic autonomy. The whole concept of strategic autonomy is anathema to USA.
Yes.
And this flip is just that we didn't allow American bases in India to operate against China, or or we didn't align ourselves completely against China in favor of USA. One, I'm giving you the manifestation of this threat. We didn't, so the flip has happened. Second, whether it is with Mr. Trump or with Biden, I said transfer of technology, X, Y, Z, defense cooperation has all seen limits.
Yeah.
Still, the engines for the aircraft are coming in trickle one and two and three. You paid for it. You're not, so it's no more a dependable partner. Right? It's not a partner where you can depend on. If you think
Hmm.
technology is they're going to give you free of cost, just forget it. Even with cost, they're not prepared to give. Why? Because you are not prepared to act against China. So,
Yes.
one. Number two, they see India. You have to look at India itself. They see India as the only, why the whole world sees India as the only bright spot in a depressing world. Everyone, except by their own calculation. I mean, I remember reading Michael Beckley, who's written in Foreign Affairs. He says, except India and USA is still growing well by its own standards. Except India and USA, the other countries are going to be depressing. China has already gone into a recession, right? I mean, strange as it might seem, I've already done a video on that. I think 2 days back, Bloomberg has come out with a small clip to say China has gone into a recession. So China
Right.
is, and it's got its own problems. So China is, but still, USA considers China as its prime peer competitor and adversary. But it sees India growing, and it also sees India unstoppable,
Hmm.
because for USA to grow, if you look at USA history, there's something I've never said this before, but I'm saying this for the first time now. You look at USA, how USA has grown over years. First, it grew out of Britain, then it
Yes.
grew out of Europe, right? It then grew after the Second World War, based on the reconstruction of Germany and Japan,
Hmm.
right? And then it grew off after breaking up Russia or USSR. Then it grew after the attempt with or detent with China. It grew with that. Now China is all over, so China is being dumped. This is systematic to USA, and now it is India's turn. And what it does it find in India? In all these cases earlier, Great Britain, Europe, Germany, and Japan were completely dependent on USA. In their dependency, they had to grow, and USA had to grow, but then USA grew at a much different pace. All these were virtually slave to USA, if I might say. USSR didn't toe the US line, so it was broken. China completely went along with USA in the 70s, 80s, 90s, till it decided it grew enough and it is too big and it has become a peer competitor, so it has to be broken. And China will be broken maybe now, not in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Because China has entered a state of decline because of its population, technology, and all the other things, and recession and economy, which is not going to come back up. So USA is slowly decoupling from China. It'll be a slow process. So where is it going? It's going to India. It's coming. That's your thing. Already Apple has shifted the top, which is the magnificent six of USA. Apple One. It's already got a presence here. Google wants to invest $5 billion here. Microsoft wants to invest $17 billion here. Intel is coming in, and the others. So it has to come here. Once it comes here, it wants India to be an ally, a
Right.
subservient ally, and India will is not prepared to be that. If India is not prepared to be that, it doesn't like strategic autonomy of India. Now, how do you put that cap on India? How can India be controlled? And now there is talk. Look, what happens if today you rely on India and India reneges like China did? So before that happens, put barriers across India.
Hmm.
So in which case you will not have a security threat in terms of the American army one day landing up on your shores, or that threat is out. That is out. In any case, it's beyond America's US capability to touch mainland India anywhere. Or that military threat is out. But you have a political threat. You have a financial threat. You have a threat to your economy. You have a threat, your internal threat is there. Information threat. If you're going to, if all our stuff, if you, you have rejected China and you're dependent on Western, IT systems and all that, your information is a threat. It actually stands compromised today. Your data is a threat. It's not,
Right.
it's compromised. So you will have huge problems with USA on these issues.
Right.
And you are looking at Atmanirbharta, strategic autonomy, and all that, they're not going to let you do it. And they have manifested, if you see 2025, these threats which I'm today outlining have manifested themselves on ground. Whether you
What?
say,
Uh, yeah. What do you see in 2026? But in these threats, we have seen those, right? The fact that they're not in favor of Atmanirbharta, strategic autonomy, all of that. But in 2026, do you see this as taking a particularly vicious turn?
yes, it will. Political. You see the kind of political nuances which are coming from USA. You see the kind of help they're giving to Pakistan.
Right.
See, they make go if Pakistan and Bangladesh are going to be problems for India, which they will be, you will see a large hand from USA in this. It's in the nature of things. At the same time, you have to maintain a good relationship with USA for the reasons which I said earlier. You will have a problem of, you know, they'll you they will trouble our people. They already started with visa restrictions, all that. H1B visa. People who have come from there can't go back, or people who are there don't dare to come back. Already, every day a new visa restriction comes. Earlier, if you wanted to go, like for example, people like me have the children there. You wanted to go to USA, you picked up your visa and you went. And if you had to get a visitor's visa, you apply within 15, 20 days, you got it. But today, no, takes 6 months. And
6 months.
6 months, even for a visitor's visa, you have to book a ticket and all that, and then say I'm going there. And then they'll not let you stay for more than 30 days. If you say you're going to stay more than 30 days, they're jittery. So a lot of things have come in. You'll see this change getting even more. I mean,
in 2026. But I have to ask you this question, Jan Shankar. We've discussed this in the past as well with the United States. Is this a Trump MAGA thing, or is this the entire administration of the United States which is pursuing this? Because if it is Trump, then okay, I'm prepared to wait till November when he, as all predictions say, he's going to lose the House and he's going to be a lame duck president. All of those scenarios are there. So, in that sense, it doesn't become so much of a threat to us. But if the administration actually has realigned its priorities, like contain India or teach India a lesson or something, then it becomes a problem. What's your take on this?
look, you have to see this in the context of what's happening in USA itself. The street on the USA has started speaking, and the Trump administration has infuriated the street. So it's a sentiment which is coming onto the street of the USA and the internal compulsions of USA. That will not go away, whether the House is taken over by Republicans, Democrats, and all that. And slowly, this is becoming a bipartisan approach thinking. You don't see the liberal Democrats in USA speaking against this. You find that odd Francis Fukuyama coming up and saying, Trump is burning bridges, and a lot of people are talking. Nikki Haley has also said all that. But look, the damage, bridge is burning. Now, a burnt bridge, how do you rebuild? It's going to take time.
Right, right. That's a
And
very interesting expression. The bridge is burning. I'm going to note that down, Jan Shankar. I'm sure we're going to use this again.
I,
Uh, you know,
I mean, we shouldn't have doubts that the US India bridge is burning.
right,
Okay. And see, there's another strange thing. Let me put it, this is from both sides. Both sides are reluctant to douse the flames for their own
right,
reason, right? We
right,
don't want America's, breathing down our neck. So I'm not interested in doing. And especially at a time when India has its options in Europe, India has its options in Japan, and
right.
everything. Even in the global scenario, why is Japan rearming itself at a furious
Yes,
pace?
yes,
Why is even Taiwan? Why is Europe rearming itself? It sees America retreating. So if
right.
America is retreating, why can I depend on America tomorrow? I can't. So I must do what I have to do. But America doesn't want you to do what you want to do. So that's the way things are. There's yet another thing. There's another facet. America is also retreating away from the U. And he's using his proxies. His proxies today are Pakistan. His proxies are Bangladesh.
Right.
His proxies are Myanmar. He's got different proxies. He's got a different game plan.
Hmm.
And his focus is in Argentina. His focus is in Venezuela. His focus is in Latin America and Greenland.
His backyard, basically. That's the Monroe
So
Doctrine.
in
He's
a way,
invoked the Monroe Doctrine.
right?
So,
So this change is something people are not accustomed to. Either you'll find people coming out very vehemently against it, or people going I mean, people who can't let go of USA. Even we can't let go of USA. So, is there a balance in this relationship? There's no balance. So, we are off balance. So, I
right.
think we have to. That's why I said this is going to be our most difficult relationship.
That's right. No, so the bridge is on fire, our most difficult relationship. And we'll move on to the next country, which is, of course, another big challenger, and that's, of course, China. Our biggest strategic challenge, and the fact that it is actually on our border. I don't think, Janil Shankar, bear me out if this is correct, but have we ever had a superpower at our doorstep like this? Sharing a
No,
boundary border with us? Never in history, never in
never,
India's history. I
never in
think
our history.
even the British, when they were ruling India for about 200 years, they never allowed any of the big powers to come on our borders. Neither the Russian Empire nor the Chinese Empire. They maintained the buffer zones. So today we have that big challenge of China sitting on our border. I mean, at least Taiwan has got 200 kilometers of water between it and China. Here they are on the border, and your colleagues are there, facing them, eyeballing them as we speak. But what more could they do in 2026? Of course, there is that thaw between India and China in 20. It began in 24. It continued in 25. There's talk of flights. Flights have started resumed direct flights to China. This border post trading might begin, but do you see China doing anything spectacular against us in 26?
No, I mean they're going to not going to be doing anything spectacular. Let's be
Right.
very clear. But there's nothing going to be spectacular in the positive side also.
Okay. Not to
Okay,
expect anything great out of them. That's what you're
no.
saying.
But certain thing, a trend line. Earlier in 25, 24, you're looking at China taking off in one direction, steep. The trajectory was very steep. And India going, going up, but slowly.
Right.
That is changing. That is changing. You'll slowly see the Chinese economy contracting. They'll not talk.
Hmm.
Already, as per Rhodium Group, and Rhodium has got one half of Rhodium Group is dedicated to China, and a whole lot of people, despite all this EVs and technology, all that, because that's only 15% of their economy. 85% of their economy is still other things, which they are hemorrhaging. Their population is declining. Their
Hmm.
military is in shambles, complete shambles. Every day, a guy, a general or a top aerospace guy or a bureaucrat gets sacked, right? And their equipment is malfunctioning, huge. So
Yeah.
it's all
We just saw that in Cambodia.
for Cambodia. Not only Cambodia. Why use only Cambodia? Now I put out a video to the effect that about Chinese weapons, how unreliable they are. They have proven themselves to be unreliable in Cambodia. They have proven themselves to be unreliable in Op Sindhu. They've proven
Right.
themselves to be unreliable all over the world, whether it's Pakistan, Nigeria, or Bangladesh or anything. So that's a different story. So the Chinese economy as a whole, and they've over-invested into defense.
Hmm.
Over-invested into defense. They've over-invested into their larger investment, infrastructure, and all. None of these are going to give returns. And very interestingly, their exports are huge. Their export surplus is huge,
Right.
$1 trillion,
Right.
right? But their profits are not. They're not
Hmm.
getting profit out of it. It's a state subsidy. State subsidy means what? It means that the people are becoming poorer. So China is going through something very funny. It's going
Hmm.
down. Slow. It's going to be slow. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen in 26. We are looking at a China which is slowly going to go down, 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 down over a period of time. You are going to go up. There's no choice for many
Yeah.
reasons, right? This will generate problems.
Hmm.
And there is a view in China which is quite correct also, that India's growth is at China's expense.
Right.
Okay, the fact that you're growing is immutable. I mean, there's no change. Even if people say China is growing at 1%, 2%, it is still far less than the 7-8% they had. And here
Right.
they'll see India growing, India's influence growing up. It will grow up. India's influence will grow up, because if you're by the end of the year, by the end of 2026, I see another trillion or two added up, a trillion at
Right.
least. From 4 trillion, you'll go to 5 trillion economy. The moment you become a 5 trillion economy, you're a big economy. Even 4 trillion, you're a big economy.
Yeah.
So this thing, that sentiment that India's rise is at China's expense, is going to drive 2026 and India-China equations. They are reluctant to invest in you, but they want your market. You don't want to open your market. You want their investment. They don't want to negotiate on the border under any conditions. They want to appear in the Indian Ocean. They can't appear in the Indian Ocean. I mean, they know it. Despite all that GDP they have, nothing of theirs in significant numbers will come. I mean, just to give a idea, I mean, this is a fact. You see, people think Chinese Navy is going to come. It takes 15 days to
Right.
turn around ammunition from Djibouti, which is their
Right.
base.
Right.
15 days for one ship. Just think if they put 10 ships there, It's
Yeah.
easy to put. How do you visualize them? How do you give fuel to them? How do you give ammunition to them? Warfare goes on other fundamentals. It's not
Yes.
just the surface things,
Resupply and all that. Yeah.
supply and all that. So as a result, uh, this problem with China, and China is predatory by nature. It's
Yeah.
still got its hooks into Bangladesh. It's got its hooks into Sri Lanka. It has still got its hooks into Maldives, and it is completely siding with Pakistan.
Hmm.
It might not side with Pakistan on many issues. Come India, it will give 100% side thing to Pakistan. They already talk of giving J-35As to Pakistan and
Yes.
J-10Cs to Pakistan, right? So if that is the case, well, this predatory threat is not going away. I mean, I is there anything counter to what I'm thinking which you can think of?
Nothing. I mean, and this, I want to quote that the U.S. Department of Defense report also. They said, that China is just buying time with us. They're just
Yes.
playing nice. But I mean, they're certainly no friends, despite all that thing. And I think you can't trust the Chinese. That's the biggest lesson from 2020, and that was a huge wake up call for us as well, as 2025 was for us with the United States and Turkey and all that. So actually, in the last 5 years, we've actually had a couple of big wake up calls.
Yeah, in fact, I agree with you completely. I think India has changed its character over the past 5 years. In fact, one point about China and India, which you mentioned earlier, you see,
Yeah,
there is no history of two powers growing simultaneously together
right,
with a common border,
with a common
right?
border.
In history, which have differences with each other, the way we have.
Yes,
You see, earlier two civilizations grew, but with the buffer of Tibet. With the buffer of Tibet gone,
yeah,
two civilizational powers have to grow together,
yes,
often at cross purposes with each other.
yeah,
So, one. Number two, earlier this buffer also meant poor terrain, poor infrastructure, and all.
yeah, yeah,
China was the first mover and it developed all the infrastructure, but India is now closing in.
right,
People miss, and mind you, the Chinese have not missed it. Chinese have developed a lot of infrastructure, but their infrastructure is over 5,000 kilometers
yes.
distance. They suffer the tyranny of distance. You have been slow to develop your infrastructure, but you have developed infrastructure.
Our
Your
lines are
development
shorter. Yeah,
shorter, 200 to 300 kilometers. You are
yes,
working on interior lines, and
yeah,
this is something which people don't understand. You can have one road. China
yeah,
will need 10 roads for that.
right,
So you, I suppose,
yeah,
by the end of 2030, you will be at par as far as infrastructure is concerned. Maybe not the in quantity, quality.
right.
Already yesterday, there was a article in Wall Street Journal,
Wall Street Journal. Yes, I saw that.
yes, about how we are going ahead with the Himalayan infrastructure, and they focused on Sela Tunnel, not Sela
Yes,
Tunnel, sorry, Zojila Tunnel,
yes,
right? It's not just Zojila. You also finished the Rotang Tunnel. You also
yeah.
finished Sela Tunnel. These are the three main tunnels which you're
All weather
doing
access. It basically gives you all weather
all
access
weather
to.
access. And the day you do that, you can patrol up to the border. He can patrol up to the border and induct troops the way you want or not.
Right.
Either you freeze, you'll come to a point where you will not move ahead, or the friction
Yeah.
will increase.
Right.
So the instability on the LAC will increase.
Right. You're looking at
They
a militarized border, heavily militarized, in fact.
heavily militarized border. So
Yeah.
well, so this is going to be I mean, the good thing about the China threat, right? Though I placed it very high, is we know how to handle it.
Right. Yeah. It's a
We are
known
now,
known, as Donald
it's a known
Rumsfeld said.
known, yeah. It's a known known. Yeah.
I want to ask you about a black swan event, that could trigger off the minefield. Uh, uh, could it be, what could be, if you could look into the, crystal ball and, tell us what that black swan event could be in 2026, which will actually completely, rework things? Could it be, for instance, the invasion of Taiwan by the China? That then everything kind of changes.
Well, I don't visualize China getting into Taiwan in 2026. I don't think it has the capability to do so.
Right,
It doesn't have. But when you say a black swan event, any military face off or
right.
an incident, either in South China Sea or in Taiwan Straits, it can happen because the way they're flying, one incident happens,
Yeah,
there's a point, and then escalation and everything, and then you come into play directly. Okay, can happen. A flashpoint can happen along our border with China,
right,
and the third flashpoint is with Pakistan. See, anything happens in Pakistan, China gets into the act. We saw that in
right.
Opsindur.
In Sindhu, right,
Okay, so the any flashpoint can trigger a event. The
right,
next thing can happen. Dalai Lama.
right. Of course.
The Dalai Lama factor is a thing. Already, I see the Panchan Lama sitting there talking. Dalai Lama, whenever he goes to Arunachal, or we talk about thing coming up, then the a dam which has come up in Arunachal, that is there. You see now, the thing is that Arunachal or South Tibet has moved into one of their core interests. If you see the Chinese have also come out with their own story, isn't it?
Yeah,
So, it has moved up the value chain. Today, when you say this, they talk of three core interests: Taiwan, South China Sea, and South Tibet, which was not there earlier.
right,
15 years back, South Tibet just figured, but today it is their core interest. So that anything there could be a flashpoint. So the China-India relationship, the flashpoints are hell of a lot,
right,
and we could, be sucked into it willy nilly without even thinking. So you got to be on your toes here. I mean, you have no choice.
right.
Also, an internal event can happen in China.
Like
What if
what? Like what kind of internal event do you think?
tomorrow, say Xi Jinping dies? He's not young.
Right.
He's not spring chicken,
Yeah.
or and he's unwell. He's been unwell. That's for sure.
And
Or
the
a
power
change
struggle that would
power
follow.
struggle happens and all that,
Right.
and will something develop on the border? You see an opportunity. So there are so many imponderables in the India-China equation, right?
Right.
And you see them coming into, they want to make an entry into Indian Ocean and all that, and something happens, then what happens?
Right.
So
Imponderables. Yeah.
imponderables are huge. And like I
Right.
said, unlike USA, which is a power which is out of area power on the other side of the world, this fellow is sitting next to you on your border
Yeah. Yeah. All along. More
all
than
along.
3,000 kilometers.
While you are rising, he is risen.
Yeah. Yes.
So we'll have problems with them.
Right.
They're not.
Right. Of course. And then now we move on to threat number one.
The ace of
Where do you rank Pakistan? Toxic and dangerous. But has he
yeah.
learnt his lesson after Op Sindoor, or he's going to try more adventurism in 2026?
I mean, you just have to listen to Asim Munir.
Yes.
I mean, Asim Munir is the epitome of being toxic and dangerous, isn't it?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. He, yeah, the fact, there's a fact. These are, again, irrefutable facts because these are
Yes.
hard uh, numbers. Pakistan is 50% of Pakistan is already under the poverty line.
Yeah.
33% of them suffer psychological illness.
Yes.
This is facts. Huh? These are, I'm not talking of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is admitted and analyzed in Pakistan by Pakistan op-eds. You're dealing with a chaotic nation, a neurotic nation. The way I look at it, what is more
Right.
dangerous? Look in your street. If you had a poor madman on the corner, is he dangerous
Yeah.
to you, or a rich guy everything? Is he dangerous to you? He's got nothing to lose.
Well,
He's
that's
not.
the analogy that Munir has used himself. Why go that far? He said we are a dump truck and India is a shiny
Yeah.
Mercedes or Ferrari.
So and he's belligerent, and
Yeah,
this whole country is anti-India. They're neurotic enough to be anti-India. Their existence is based on not being India. They have internal problems.
right.
They fear water because their survival is. You see, Pakistan is only a single source water they have is Indus. That's the only source of water,
Yes. Yeah,
right? And you have a policy of not giving him water, right?
yeah.
Which is there. So he becomes the most dangerous opponent
Hmm.
because he can derail you anywhere.
Right.
He can derail your peace anywhere. Look, he is not going to threaten you, and he'll not do any gains on your Kashmir and all. All that is gone. He is got the capability of derailing your progress and violently. And you look at what this fellow has done with Trump. After all, who spoiled the India-US relationship? Pakistan, isn't it? Pakistan.
Right.
And Pakistan has put himself in a position where he's indispensable both to China and USA. And his survival is only security. He's not surviving on economy. His survival is only monetizing the Pakistan army. He's monetizing the
Pakistan.
Pakistan army by going to Gaza. He's monetizing Pakistan army by going into Saudi Arabia. He's monetizing Pakistan army by selling planes to Libya. He is
Right.
monetizing Pakistan army by selling arms and equipment to Azerbaijan.
Yes.
So this
And
monetization,
Libya. And Libya,
and
$4 billion. That's a lot
yeah.
of money.
So this kind of a thing will continue. This
But yeah,
strategic
I must,
irrationality will continue.
sorry to interrupt you, General Shankar, but I must tell our viewers that you are among the first people, I think, anywhere who said that Asim Munir would be asked to send troops to Gaza. And you said that, I think, what, 4 months back?
Long back,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, was it August? I remember it was July, August, more than four. We should get out that podcast where you actually said he is going to be sent to, he'll be asked to send Pakistan Army. And that is actually gathering steam now.
Yeah. So we have a problem with Pakistan, which is eternal, which is I'll call it civilizational now,
Right.
right? And he is our most dangerous opponent.
Hmm.
See, the problem, no other country can disturb your population the way Pakistan does. That's what makes him dangerous.
Right, and that's why he's at the top of the list, number one.
He's at top of the list.
Right, but any other thing that you said that they will continue to do this pinprick strategy of trying to derail your thing by carrying out these small attacks, but nothing spectacular. I don't think he has the stamina for a conflict, a border conflict.
He will not have but knowing him, knowing his audicities, knowing his irrationality, and knowing the devious method he operates, you can expect anything from Pakistan. See, he's a guy
Right,
who's got nothing to lose, and he's the dump truck. And if the
right,
dump truck gets next to Mercedes, it can damage. I mean, let's go by
right.
his own analogy. So what
Yes.
you need to do is ensure your Mercedes doesn't go near a dump truck. You leave him behind and zoop ahead.
Step on the accelerator.
But that's it. That's it, right?
Yes.
And there is no other choice. And he's going to appear in Bangladesh. He's going to appear with USA. He's going to appear with China. He's going to appear with Turkey. He's going to appear in Saudi Arabia as your competitor. Well, yeah, after all, whether you like it or not, Saudi Arabia has made this fellow, given some presents to him and some honor to him and all that. So he will be kept on the thing. Now, see, we all say that going into Gaza, he'll have problems internally and all. Equally, it gives him leverage by
Right.
going into Gaza.
Hmm.
He's positioning himself as an international player, a net security provider of the this area.
Right.
So he is monetizing and securitizing his army. Okay, and internally things are going to go bad. So if
Hmm.
he has to offset that internal thing tomorrow, whether it's Imran Khan, water, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Baluchistan, internal problems, or JNK, wherever a problem will come up every second day, there'll be a problem in Pakistan. Where does he externalize? India.
India. Absolutely.
India. And if he has to pump up, he'll pump up Bangladesh because there are enough fools in Bangladesh who will fall for that.
Right.
So I think he remains our most dangerous security challenge. Number one on my list, and he can derail our economy. You see, that's where
Hmm.
he can derail our economy in ways which we can't think, because our many times our politicians and our people respond emotionally to Pakistan,
Right.
not professionally. So he is the only guy out of all who inflames our emotions. And when we get
Right.
emotional, we lose balance.
Hmm.
Let me put a thing. Did we have to do what we did with them in this Op Sindoor, or did we have better choices? It's a moot point.
Yes.
Op Sindoor, we did what we had to do, but the end result was this fellow became a field marshal and he's gone and sat in Trump's lap and he's going there and
A Field Marshal and Chief of Defense Forces, don't forget the
uh,
CDF,
so
the
right,
most powerful military figure in Pakistan's history.
Pakistan. And all
78 years.
sane
Yeah.
Pakistanis who are sane now are talking of victory, that they have achieved a victory in Op Sindoor. They're
Yes.
convinced. So you're talking with a neurotic nation.
Right.
So you can't. Can you ever be comfortable with a neurotic sitting next to you?
Neurotic nation. That's another thing. I think we are going to be revisiting in 2026. I'm just noting it down, General Shankar, again, because these are expressions that will recur, and you use that one for the India-US bridge burning, and of
We are
course this
burning our bridges.
neurotic nation for Pakistan, which I think we are going to come back to very shortly. And Pakistan never disappoints. I think, especially under
Yeah,
Asim.
they'll come to form. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I like that
Yeah,
thing. That of all our adversaries and security challenges, Pakistan never disappoints. So that
they never disappoint. And it's so predictable. It's like history is repeating itself. It's like a
yeah,
movie script where the old, the in the old days, you had those Bollywood films, the Lost and Found formula, where two brothers would get lost in a mela and then they would reunite. So
yeah,
Pakistan is like that. Every few years, Ziaul Haq, this thing, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto,
uh,
Pervez Musharraf, Nawaz Sharif. Now it's Shahbaz Sharif and this fellow Munir. Every few years, it's the same script that plays out over and over and
over
over
and
again.
over and over again. So nothing changes. It's just
And the
a
same actors, it's the United States, they have an issue, Pakistan comes to the rescue, they are the useful idiots, then the dictator rises because of that. It's just like, and I don't know if I should say this, but I actually miss the time that we had Kamar Javed Bajwa and
yeah, yeah.
guys like, he was a decent guy compared to this rogue.
Compared to this fellow, yeah, yeah. He was
Yeah,
actually Kamar Javad Bajwa. If you look back, he was quite
yeah,
a stable guy,
yes.
right? You go back in time. So was the chap Rahil Sharif.
Rahil Sharif also, they were, and these very interesting, sir. These are the three Zia Bharti chiefs.
Yeah,
Rahil Sharif was the first guy to be commissioned post 1977 under Zia. The Zia Bhartis, as they called them, no? The
yeah,
religious, they were supposed to be very
yeah.
religious and
And
they had to
he
recite
was
the
quite
Quran.
stable, right?
Yeah,
And
he was stable, and Bajwa was also the second one.
no,
This
he
guy
was
is exactly that Zia wanted. He's the kind of army chief that Zia
Zia
would
was,
have. Yeah, what?
and
And I think
Zia
when
must be showering. Zia's
yeah,
ghost
from
must be
wherever he
showering
is,
wherever he is.
I don't think Zia would have ascended to heaven. So wherever he is, he is, saying that Munir is the person that I wanted
Wanted,
a
yeah,
Pakistan army chief to become. After
yeah,
3 decades of venom and hatred and all of that, he's produced this neurotic dictator.
yeah.
But this fascinating conversation, General Shankar, you've given our viewers so much to think for about 2026. Looking at the rearview mirror and simultaneously looking at the windshield. at the challenges ahead. You want to go over the
Yeah, we'll go
non-country
over this.
specific,
Yeah, we'll go over this
yeah, the
non-country specific
five very important
challenges.
this
Yeah,
thing.
why important? Energy,
Yes,
energy deficiency, we will continue to remain. You
right,
have to keep protecting your oil lines. You will have to, constantly have a problem. I wouldn't say problem. You will have to face the challenge of getting oil from Russia, and
right,
in days to come, after all, one source of Venezuela has been closed, the other source of
mm,
Iran has been closed. So this will be a constant challenge, and we
right,
can't get away from it. That's why I said it's constancy. The second is, of course, climate change and disaster management, episodic.
right,
But we've suffered due to climate change. We are suffering, and like glacial outbursts and things like that. Are we going to be better prepared? Nationally, I think we need to, be better prepared. We've come a long way with the National Disaster Management Authority and disaster management battalions and all that. We've come a long way, but this is something we have to be constant. And earthquakes, we've had huge earthquakes, we've
right,
had tsunami. So this is a multifarious problem,
yeah,
and my view has always been that if you have good armed forces and you equip your armed forces well, you need the same effort to be ready to fight the natural disasters,
mm,
because the response to a natural disaster and the response to war is almost the same. You have to do it on war footing. So these natural disaster relief battalions and all that have to be, you have to do everything on a war footing.
right,
Now, illegal immigration will be a persistent problem. And once upon a time, it could have been from Sri Lanka also. Even from Sri Lanka, we had problems of Tamils coming in and all that.
Tamils, yes,
Yeah, but now that's gone. But this thing from Bangladesh will continue.
yeah,
Bangladesh will be the thing. Data and info threat, it will be intrusive. As we speak, I'm very confident your data and my data is being swiped by so many people, actors,
right,
and we don't have enough data security and info security laws in place and structures in place. And as our economy grows, I think this will be a thing which we have to focus on. These will not run away. And
yeah,
mind you, these will only worsen in 2026 and beyond. This is almost constant. And of course, last is internal to us in JNK and Manipur.
Manipur,
Yeah, think as we may that look, JNK is stabilized and Manipur is on the way to stability. You can never be sure as to when the ground will give away under your feet.
right, right,
Both these states have the capability of going back,
right,
right? Because JNK, you'll have an external thing. In Manipur, it's an internal problem. So,
mm,
and plus, there are a host of other internal issues which I'm not touching.
right,
As a top security. I mean, they're not the top security challenges, but in terms of states, JNK and Manipur remain up there.
up there. And, but of course, there is that Maoist threat, which is the Home Minister has said by March they're going to pronounce the end of the Maoist threat. So that's a big. I mean, after almost more than 2.5 decades, that Maoist threat is coming to an end. So that's a very big relief.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't think that's anymore a top threat. It might be some kind of a
Yeah,
threat, but slowly that's going down. I don't think that's a major thing. But the other five will remain, and in non-country specific threats,
right.
these will, and some might come, some might go, but that is something I think India has learned how to handle, right? India has learned how to handle. It's not that we can't handle the country specific threats. I think from, say, go back 5, 10, 15 years to now, I think we are in a far better position to handle it. But as India's power grows, as our India's economy
Yeah,
grows, as the envelope increases, right? You start diversifying everything. You need to be ready to cope with those country specific threats in a different manner, in a more
right.
sophisticated manner. Not
Mm,
reactive, but be proactive about it. Proactive doesn't mean aggressive.
yeah,
Be proactive without being aggressive, right? So
right.
I think we need to have some sophistication in the way we go about doing our business in 2026. We so what I expect is we need to switch from the reactive to the proactive,
Proactive. That's right. Yeah.
right? So interesting times, 26. Let's see how it goes.
Right. Absolutely. Great. And should we wind up, Jan Shankar, or are you in the mood for some questions?
No, but there are far too many questions. I don't see any one question which is this thing. So we'll take it up. We'll take up these questions as we deal with later on. I think that's the way we should go forward. All I'll say is I'll thank, yeah, Suren Tab for becoming a YouTube member. He's joined my channel. I'm grateful. I request all of you to join again Sandeep's channel. It it gives you some different insights. I keep watching all his talks. Somewhere I think someone has, you know, 1 minute. Yeah, he said, you had a talk with Pandya sometime back, no?
Yes, yes. Abhinav Pandya, the
Abhinav
anti-terrorist
Pandya.
expert.
Yeah, someone has said that this is a very good discussion you had. I don't. Let me just see.
Yes. Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you for watching.
yeah. Here it is. Yeah, Sandeep Punithan did an excellent podcast with Abhinav Pandya a few days back.
Thank
After
you.
watching it, made a point to buy Abhinav's new book, Jihad Game. Not only buying Abhinav's book, do subscribe to his channel also. You will get, like I said, you will get a different kind of a flavor. You know, People
Yes.
like me come up with military ideas. We are professionals who have spent our entire life in this business. Whereas you'll get the intellectual opinion from guys like Pandya and more who come on to Sandeep's channel. That's why
Absolutely. And that's, we
I
make it a point to
it's
get a very wide
a
cross
point of
section.
honor for me that I appear on his channel.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for
So
giving us. Yes.
fine. I think we should conclude now. You give your concluding remarks, and then we'll
Yes,
wind up.
thank you. Thank you very much, General Shankar. I'm, for this wonderful podcast. And like I said, to look at the rear view mirror to understand the challenges that lie ahead of us through the windscreen as we look at the minefield that India has to contend with. All kinds of mines. We've gone through the list. There are anti-personnel mines. There are anti-tank mines. There are hidden mines, and they are the most dangerous ones, the ones that you can't see. And of course, there is that the prospect of a black swan event that could actually trigger off that minefield and led to simultaneous detonation of many of them. But the fact is that we are still very invested in the India growth and success story. That is one of the greatest achievements of ours in the last 70 odd years as a nation. The fact that we are the continue to be the world's fastest growing major economy, and we have to, act, step on the pedal and get ahead of all the minefields, all the challenges, and of course the dump trucks that we might encounter in the way. It's a bit like a video game kind of thing, but I guess you get the drift of what I'm trying to say. But on that note, thank you very much for your time, for your thoughts, General Shankar, and thank you all for watching. And please like, share, and subscribe. Gunner's Shot, of course, it's one of the best channels of its kind out there. And when you get the time, do watch us on Chakra News. Like, share, and subscribe to Chakra News as well. On that note, thank you very much. Have a great, successful, prosperous, healthy, happy 2026. We'll see you in the new year with Gunner's Shot and Chakra News. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.